And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. And that is none other than a frontline soldier, a believer, a student in the classroom of God, but who was once the student national MGT captain and an auntie to many believers, including myself, a stern soldier in the army of Allah, none other than our sister, Sister Charlene Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, ma'am. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to have a conversation with us. It means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast.
Well, I'm very honored, as you know.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know that very well, right?
And we are honored. Praise be to Allah. So the first thing that we want to know, ma'am, is you speak. I see you make a lot of statuses on Facebook. You're very popular on social media. But one of the things that you wanted to speak about was traveling to Ghana with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And how did that come about, ma'am?
Okay. So, first of all, let me do this. Let me pull up what I wrote, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Of course
And
not.
I'm a little nervous, but
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna pull up what I wrote. And I'm first gonna start out in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
bear witness there's no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. And I greet everyone in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
But,
salam, ma'am.
but I'm not going to assume that everybody on here is Muslim. So
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
want to say that it just simply means peace. Peace be unto you. So
Peace.
first of all, uh, to you, Josh, you mind if I say Josh instead of Brother Joshua?
Of course, whatever you want to say is fine.
And everybody, Shadi Shad, I don't know any names, but uh, I just want to thank you for inviting me on. How did we get here? We were talking about Ghana. You saw a post that I had posted. How did we even get here?
Yes, ma'am. I saw something you made a Facebook status, and I reached out to you because I wanted some better clarity.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say this before I even start. Josh, I want to take this opportunity to, and I hope you don't get upset with me, and I hope my listening audience doesn't get upset with me. But I have posted yesterday if there was anything that you wanted me to say or touch on the show, please inbox me. And I asked myself, Sister Charlene, why in the world would you do something like that? Because you know that that opens up a can of worms. I'm not one to, if you want to ask me about when I was the student national captain, how I started my Spanish classes, what's it like? Well, anything that I post, but my private life is my private life. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell the listening audience why. When you inbox me and start asking me about my status, my marital status, and all of that, and are you single? Well, who are you? I don't know the face behind the picture. I don't know you to be giving personal information like that. So I just want to say and give a word of caution to all of the believers. Everybody on Facebook is not your friend, even though they are your friends. Okay, so you don't know who is behind that face. That's the security that I've been taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I can't use social media like that because I don't know who you are. So I would caution all of us, when we are sharing our personal information, just be mindful about who is on the other side. And if you really don't know them, it's not appropriate. So I just wanted to just take a minute and say that, because people think, okay, this is the Charlene. Let me just take this opportunity to say what I want to say. But no, it's not like that. It doesn't come out like that. But anyway, let's talk about Savior's Day. Your father's on here, inshallah. I wanted to really personally greet him, tell him how much that I love him. I just remember so many days at your house with your mother, when you were here in Chicago, and your grandma, and how much fun we had. And, your mother was my traveling companion. And I just had so much fun and joy being at your house when you were here in the Chicago area. But let me just say this. Why Ghana? I had to go and research it because it was so long ago,
Yes, ma'am.
that I had to go and listen to some lectures that were done, and they're actually on finalcall.com, store.finalcall.com. You can get these lectures on the MP3 and you can download them for further information. But I knew this information, but I have forgotten it. I have forgotten even why we were there. So I learned through Brother Akbar on the opening ceremony of the Savior's Day, 1994, that Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, putting to Brother Akbar on this lecture, was forced out of Nigeria because of disinformation that had been given to the people and the military. So he had to leave Nigeria. So President Rawlings, who is the president of Ghana, says, I want to hear him for myself. And when I was talking about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and when I was listening, and all of the listening audience can go and listen to the opening ceremony in Accra, Ghana, because when Brother Akbar said that President Rawlings wanted to hear the minister for himself and really not be swayed by any disinformation that may come his way, that's the best way to hear about a person. See them yourself. Just see them yourself. You don't have to listen to what nobody says. See them yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
So when Brother Akbar said that, the room just went up in like applause for like a minute or two, because we would not have been in Accra were it not for the heart of President Rawlings to consider even listening when so many world leaders would not even have listened to the minister at that time. So I did some notes, and Lord knows I'm not paying attention to the notes, but I wanted to reference what you can go and study for yourself. Number one, why was this such a significant event, Savior's Day, 1994? And I'm sure that many of the believers did not or do not realize that the Nation of Islam, with the help of Supreme Captains, what do you call it, Emeritus Student Supreme Captain, Abdul Sharif Muhammad, he can bear witness. We brought over 2,000 Black people from America. That has never happened, I don't think, on any African continent. And that was in and of itself, because it's not like you're going into LaGuardia Airport, and I'm sure Ghana has come a long way since 1994. Your bags weren't on a conveyor line. You had to dash, which means like tip every person that you saw. You had to tip them. So it wasn't like going into picking up your bags at LaGuardia or Atlanta or anything like that, and you just go on your way. No, it was difficult. And when I say difficult, it was just the logistics of it. I'm sure your father knows even better than I remember. Um, just bringing in, can you imagine just bringing in 30 people to Ghana,
Yes, ma'am.
a country in Africa, yet alone 2,000. So that took a lot of planning, a lot of legwork. It was where I really got to know, there are certain people I really got to know on that trip. The first one was Brother Akbar, our international minister. He became my friend. I mean, he was my friend. Just we worked hard together. Um, there was one more person. Oh, and his assistant, Brother Brian. I hope Brother Brian is on, Brian Muhammad. I don't like to leave anybody out.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan sent a contingent in January. Matter of fact, that it was during the time of the first all men's meeting in 1994. I think it was in New York, if I'm
Mm.
not mistaken. And let me see. So brothers were all trying to go to the first men's meeting. We didn't even have anyone who could accompany us, except for the regional minister, Kadir Muhammad. He was our security. And that's where I got to know. I really got to know him very well. When I see he and his lovely wife, they are like family for me.
Praise the Lord.
Um, so we stopped in Egypt and with Sister Shirley Muhammad. She did accompany us. I wanted to say who was on that contingent. It was headed by Mother Khadija Farrakhan with her two daughters, Sister Maria Farrakhan and Sister Donna, Sister Samaya. What was Samaya's name? Samaya? Yeah, Samaya. Who Aziz, who was my friend, good friend, may Allah be pleased with her. And Lord knows I miss Sister Samaya. Um, Brother Brian, and I'm trying to think, oh, and Brother Leonard, I can't think of his sister, but his sister accompanied us on this first trip. So we had to uh, give the minister a report on the hotels that we visited so we could present that information, the condition of the hotels, because every hotel wasn't, you had the 5-star hotels, which was the Labadi Beach and the Golden Tulip. And
Okay.
then you had others I just can't remember, but they might have been 4, 3 stars, 2 stars. Depending on your budget, would be the hotel that you would select. But we came back and we gave that report to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and then sooner than we figured, that we were in October of 1994. It was a 5-day convention. Um, I'm going to say this about what really moved me about going back the second time was going to, I want to say, the Elmina slave castles and the Cape. It's another slave castle. I can't remember the name. But when you go to Ghana, the heat, you step off the plane, the heat is so, it's not like a heat you could ever feel in the United States at all. It probably is something that you might feel in the Caribbean or something like that, but not here. Not that, oh, that heat that grabs you. So when we went to the slave castles, and in the midst of all of that heat, and you have to see it for yourself, it was so horrific because every square inch of where they put us or our ancestors, there was no room. It was absolutely no room. If you put it was probably maybe as big as I won't say even as the gym in Muhammad University,
Mm.
but it was not even that big, but it was packed to capacity. And I could not understand how anyone could have survived in that heat, So that is where I realized, and I'm going to say this, and in those slave castles, where I realized that the Black woman of America, whether it's really the Black woman of the Black man and woman of North America, were the chosen people of God. Because I
Mm.
don't think any people could have endured that uh, that middle passage. We really do not know who we are.
Mm.
We really don't know, and we really don't know what it took for our ancestors to even get here, to produce us. We are, in my opinion, living miracles. And you have to go to Ghana and see the slave castles yourself and feel that oppressive heat and say, oh, and I was so mad. I was so mad at the white man. I didn't know what to do. I was like, this white man. I wanted to just, and then I had to say, no, it's bigger than the white man. Allah permitted it. He permitted, because it wasn't just a white man, it was our own people that sold us. It was Arabs that sold anybody that could make some money off of us. Nobody was exempt in the slave trade. I'm just saying, nobody. So nobody gets a free pass.
That's right.
But nobody gets a free pass in that. So I remember another sad thing about the slave castle. So right next to it, I want to say Cape something. Somebody on the show may remember. Maybe they've been to Ghana, but right next to it is a beach. And I went to see some of the children on the beach, and I said, "Do you know about the Black people that were put in those slave castles and taken to America?" They had no idea.
Mm.
They didn't even know anything about it. So I was mortified at that because it's such a rich history, but it made me to know that we in the Nation of Islam and Black people all over the world have to really double our efforts because we're not here by accident. You're
That's
not
right.
an accident, Josh. Nobody on this podcast is an accident. We are here for a purpose. And if we have children, we should teach our children, you're here for a purpose. Our ancestors are to be honored for what they endured to get us to produce us. So I can't remember too much other than that because I can remember how beautiful Africa is, and the minister wanting to connect the Black man in America with our 400 years here with the knowledge that we have with our African brothers and sisters. It's the vision. It's a vision. And the minister has the vision to connect every Black man and woman across the globe
Yes, ma'am.
together. We're resistant to it because maybe there's a language barrier, there's a culture barrier, but we all share, especially on this side. Cubans got taken as slaves just like the Black man in America. So did Brazilians. So did all the Black people in Central and South America. And we have nerve enough to say, I hear a lot of times people say, well, they're not Black. What? Just because their language, they speak another language of the slave master, that makes them not Black.
Mm.
So, I got this language platform and I use it to bridge the gap between our Black brothers and sisters and our indigenous brothers and sisters, because with the 2 million Indians makes it 19 million.
That's right.
All over the planet Earth is 4,400,000,000. So we got a lot of work to do. So I'm pretty much, I can't remember that much other than, I do remember that it was exhausting, that it was a lot of work. The workshops were fabulous. I do want to say that's where I met Brother Naba Muhammad, Brother Richard, I'm not our former, but our editor. of the Final Call newspaper. May Allah be pleased with him. And that
Amen.
is, he fell in love with Africa. I
Mm,
mean, he just literally just fell in love. That's why I met him. I think I met Brother Abdul Rasul Muhammad in Ghana. Uh, I just remember all of us just really just in amazement, just being on the continent itself. I don't think in the nation right now that our young people really know about Savior's Day 1994 in Accra, Ghana,
mm.
and what it took to put it on. The security, I'm sure your father had, he was the security for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We did have the Hebrew Israelites from Israel. They came and were part of our activities, and we just had so many people that uh, graced Accra, Ghana, and I hope that those that are young can visit Africa. I hope that those of us that are in the nation, perhaps we can, go back. There's a lot of work that has to be done, not only in Accra, but all over in Ghana, but in different parts, all over. It's just a big field
Yeah.
that awaits the wide awake man or woman. So let's see, what time is it? Son las 6:26.
Yes, but
All right, so,
un
huh?
momento. Un momento. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? You good.
All right. I'm good.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. So do you have anything? Let me
Absolutely.
question you.
I got a whole bunch of questions. I was just
Oh
waiting for you
Lord.
because you said you were reading something. So I was like, go ahead and finish reading.
Okay, I'm good.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
good.
Okay,
I'm good.
perfect. Praise be to Allah. People are showing you love all around the world. Sister Mimi says, Alaikum Salam. Brother Jerry
Who
Muhammad,
said that? Who?
Mimi says, Assalamu alaikum. Naima says, Assalamu alaikum.
Ah, Mimi and Naima. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Walaikum salam.
Brother Jerry says, Assalamu alaikum. Brother Audio Nasur from Baltimore, Walaikum Salam. People are saying Cape Coast slave castles. That's
That's
right.
it. Cape
Beautiful.
Coast.
Another sister says, thanks for sharing your experiences to Pamela, Brother Khaled Roberts. That's heavy that no people could have survived. That's right, Sister Charlene, Sister Queen, and Brother Joshua. Thank you very much, Brother Khaled. Let's hope. Salutes Minister Farrakhan, Brother Joshua, Sister Captain Charlene, and all of the believers. People are showing you love. Okay, we want to go back to Africa. Help us, right? So I see a lot of entertainers. Once they go to Africa, they come back another person. Is there something about us stepping foot on that land, being home? It does something. What what did it do to you personally to feel? Did you feel like you were home when you were in Africa? Did you feel like you were at the motherland?
Well, first of all, this is what I was not used to. Black people in charge. I was just really not used to looking at Black people as having a total government,
Mm,
run by Black people. That was just amazing to see. I mean, I didn't see any white people. I'm not saying that there were not any white people there. They just weren't in charge,
mm.
that I could see.
Yes,
And that
ma'am.
was just a really beautiful thing to see, our people running a country as magnificent as Ghana. That was really magnificent. I think if anybody visits the slave castles, it will change you. I promise you, it will change you. You will not come back the same person because you will go into that little room and they will tell you this is where I can't remember the number, maybe 200, 300, 400, but whatever 100. The heat alone would make you faint. The heat, we're sitting in our comfortable living rooms, whatever, but the heat um, is just unimaginable that you just have to, I mean, in the actual slave castle, Cape Coast, that's what it was. That's the one where right next to it is the beach, and I talked to the children. and they did not know us. They did not know anything about us.
Yeah.
So yes, but the entertainers, they can't help anybody. The entertainers, you, me, anybody that
Yes,
goes
ma'am.
over there will have what you would call an experience that will change you profoundly. But it made me to know without a shadow of a doubt who Master Father Muhammad is, without a shadow of a doubt, and why he chose us,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
man and woman of North America. I mean, there's so many Black people out there, but he just chose us. That's out of love, but not to choose us to look down on any other people. It is because of our own painful experience that we would be able to give true justice to everybody on the planet. Nobody has been through what we've been through. And you'd have to, and that's just the slave castle. We're not even talking about the ships and how hot they were and how packed they were like sardines. And I've read that I heard the minister say 100 million Africans died to make 4 million. And when I looked it up, of course, they're gonna make it look like only 12 million died. But it was way more. They don't have any idea. They weren't taking uh, a consensus on how many Black people they threw overboard to the sharks. They didn't count them. So they can't even fix their mouths to say 12 million. That's a very, very, very conservative number. So we should never look at ourselves like we're just nothing. Our ancestors, just to get to even breathe, they went through so much. And we should always give honor, even if we don't know them, just say thank you, thank you, thank you a lot. Thank you for my ancestor for
Yes,
having
ma'am.
perseverance to get us here. So Sid, I'm kind of long-winded. Shoot.
Okay, that was good. Okay, a lot of work, but and I wanted to bear witness to that, Sister Charlene, that whenever I see people complain on social media, my generation and younger, I always say what my grandparents went through, my mother and father went through, much less the great grandparents, the great grandparents.
Absolutely.
Like I can't complain. There are some things that I try to stop myself and say, remember what they went through. So all praise is due to Allah. And yes, I agree. We should be eternally grateful for what our family went through, and that Master Farah Muhammad came to save us. Okay,
Absolutely.
yes, ma'am. But I wanted to ask you about once you came back from Africa, you're in America, and the Million Man March is fastly approaching. How was that as being Sister National MPT captain, being a woman? Just how did that feel to be a part of that history?
Whoa. That, Brother Joshua, was a miracle, a blessing. Well, I don't know. I don't quite know if it was a miracle, because a miracle is just like something that may fall out of the sky. We worked, when the minister, he gave us this little, he called they didn't call it the Executive Council, National Board of Laborers and the regional laborers and he gave us all a little mustard seed.
Mm.
And he said, all you have to do is just have the faith of this little mustard seed. And he called that at the men's meeting, for 1 million men to come to Washington, D.C. At the men's meeting, I believe at that first men's meeting in New York. And then once it came out of his mouth, then you got to he had to make his word bond. So that's when he called us together and he told us that we were going to do this. And then we only had 6 months. That was in April of 1995. So that was only 6 months that we had. Now, mind you, Brother Sharif, can you know this? Can you remember this? Your mother would remember this. Your mother was right there, part of history. We didn't have social media.
Mm.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. You know what we had? We had to get out in the street and pass out flyers the old-fashioned way and go door to door, go to the businesses. We set up LOCs. We conquered our fears, and because sometimes we don't like to sit down and meet with the Christians, our Christian and Hebrew brothers. But we formed the local organizing committees, some of which are still in existence, and we met every week so
Beautiful.
that we could help the Honorable Minister Lewis. It wasn't just a Muslim march. You had all kinds of people to help with that march. And Mother Tanetta, may Allah be pleased with her, she put out a book for the women for that day because they were to stay at home with their children and they were to work from that workbook. And I wasn't in Chicago that day, but I was told that it was quiet as all heck, because the Million Man March was also, which we don't really talk about, a day of absence. You shut everything down. You have to show your power in your absence, So when you don't see Black people spend money for a day, that's a show of power.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't see us spend money, if you don't see us spend money for an hour, that's a show of power, because I mean, we like to go and spend some money. Look at our spending. I'm just digressing a bit because the day of absence is kind of downplayed. We look at the Million Man March and we see 2 million brothers that came out, but we don't really talk too much about the day of absence,
Mm.
which go hand in hand. And really also no, then right after that, the following year was the day of atonement. So it's just a lot. I've lived through a lot. But that day of absence, we shut down. I know we did in Chicago. They said it was real quiet. We didn't buy anything. We got all our children were out of school. We kept them home from school. It was a movement. And we really didn't know. We didn't sell tickets, so it wasn't like uh, we knew that there were going to be 2 million men to come to DC. We didn't have a ticket count. All we had was Allah,
Mm.
and that's the minister crisscrossed the country.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
father was right with him. I couldn't hardly keep because he'd be in one city. It was really, really, really hard to keep up with. No, I don't know anyone to this day that has a work ethic like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I mean, he can outwork anybody. And then you'll be somewhere over there and he's in the next city.
Yes, ma'am.
But the day of absence, we have to talk about that because it's in our economic power that we could really turn things around. It's in our unity where we can turn things around for ourselves. I don't know what we spend. I think the last count, we spend over $2 billion,
Mm.
maybe more than that. And then barely a fraction of it comes back to our community. And then we wonder why our stuff is so raggedy looking because we don't spend with each other.
Mm.
So I just want to say that the day of absence and the Million Man March. Oh, I do want to say this, Josh. It was, your father can help me with this. At 6 a.m., we were in the suite of the minister, and he wanted us to go out and give and see what the mall looked like.
Mm.
The minister may not remember saying this. I remember him saying this. He said, "We will be blessed to have 100,000. We
Mm.
didn't know what was going to show up. And when he said that, we didn't know. We didn't know if the mall was going to be sparse or what. Everything that was Allah. because all we could do was just work, and then look at the efforts of our work. But Allah blessed us, all of us, on that day. So when we went out at 6 a.m., it was wall to wall Black men, wall to wall Black men at 6 a.m. I don't even know what it was like at 8 or 9 o'clock. You just got pushed to the back. But that stage, everybody, let me say this. When we started, nobody really, we kind of got laughed at. But as we had our LOC meetings here in Chicago, I'm sure it was the same, it grew into a movement. So by the time September came, and then you had, what's his name? The one with I can't think of his name. I see his face. He was a football player, and he murdered his
O.J.
wife,
Simpson. O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson, and then the verdict came out, and that was almost like the icing on the cake.
Mm.
So you went from zero interest in April or May to October. Everybody and whoever thought they wanted to be on that stage with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and was a miracle that stage held up because so many people wanted to get on, and it was like almost, and I won't even say almost, you just wanted to be there, to be a part of history. And when the minister was coming down those stairs, you remember that? And that was just the most incredible scene that anyone could witness. So myself, Sister Captain Emeritus Aisha was there, Sister. I think we got a picture with Sister Aisha and your mom and myself somewhere. I think Sister Ruth took it. I probably have to talk to Sister Ruth.
Yes, ma'am.
Sister Sharifa, of course, Sister Bronda. I want to say Sister Nusayla. I'm not sure. I will have to ask her, but a lot of Sister Maria, Sister Donna, Sister Colliday, just, I can't remember all of it because, we don't get this stuff right when it happens. Our memories kind of fade. But that's what it was like. I mean, it was a lot more. It was a lot more. All I could say is we worked. We didn't have internet, or we just had what you call pagers. That's how we communicated with each other. And we really had a military, not a military on an internet. We had military where you had to be there in person and receive the instruction. But it was a momentous event. That was another event. And we in the Nation of Islam, this is what we have to get out of. That event was so monumental. We should be talking about that in our schools, not just in October, when the Holy Day of Atonement comes around. Those of us, we have to really capture that. If we have video, whatever, we really have to capture that that event. Ghana, Holy Day of Atonement, the first one in New York that came right after that. I mean, all of these events were like back to back to back. It's a wonder. But I loved it. I was am very honored that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan thought enough of me to make me the student national captain, his student national captain, because it's only been four of us. My good friend, Sister Betsy Jean Farrakhan, who mentored me, Sister Aisha, Captain Aisha Muhammad Emeritus, who I recited to when I came into the Nation of Islam, and Sister Naima Muhammad, who I love dearly. she's one of those ones you want to pass the torch to, because you know she's not gonna just sprint, she's gonna just run.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's Sister Naima right there. Always has a smile on her face, always gives me a big hug. But that was the Million Man March, you know, in my view. You caught me off guard because I didn't really prepare anything for
I know,
that.
because that's we just having a conversation. That's what we love. Because it's called
Okay,
Off the Record. Praise be to Allah, and are
off the record.
sending you so much love. Sister Auntie is sending hearts. Sister Rhonda Spencer, Mac 2X or 2U says ASFM Alaikum Salam. Khalid Roberts says, yes, ma'am, beautiful, heartfelt words. You are speaking, and it's good to see you, sis. And people were just putting snaps and fire and all that good stuff. Sister Captain, we have a brief 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast, and we're coming right back to you. People, I just want you to notice that we love you and that we salute you and we honor you and we thank Allah for you and your many sacrifices to help establish Islam and the sisterhood and the nation, and especially during the 90s and all the way up until now. We have so many, so many people showing you love in the comments. I just hope you feel the love. Hold on one second. We're coming right back to our sister. And thank you all for everybody who's showing, sending positive energy and all of your comments. We're coming right to them. We just got a brief commercial break and coming right back to you. Live with the People's Podcast. Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of that. Sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ. My two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Beautiful. All right.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Now, okay, we also want to know the what advice would you give to the younger generations who never had the opportunity to be close with the Honorable Minister Sis Farrakhan, like yourself, and the palace and travel around the world and this and that, but you have seen him and got to bear witness to what he's done and helped him in your own work to keep all of these years later bearing witness there's no God but Allah. What advice can we learn from you as far as keeping our faith and holding on?
Well, let me say this, Brother Joshua. That is such an excellent question, statement, because our young people are our future. We're not going nowhere without the young people. What I would like to see is the young people not for, to ask questions. What was it like you're doing? What was it like? But I see some really strong soldiers here in Chicago. I'm not sure around. I know Sister Ayana's down in Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am.
I know she's a soldier. Tyra's here, Sister Tyra. They all, Sister Naya, who just got married to Brother Musa. I've been knowing them since they were born. So to see them to come up and now, but I would like to, I don't know necessarily. This is a different world, Josh, than what I came up in Islam. There's there's always been that pull of the world, like the world is just, we look at the world like it's just like stars, some Hollywood, whatever. We see P. Diddy or whoever and lose our minds, or we see Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z, but Jay-Z is not no more of a star than me.
Go ahead.
I got to teaching. Jay-Z does have some teaching, so I will say that. And I do like Jay-Z and I like Beyonce. But I'm not gonna get all frazzled about them because there's no God but Allah. So I'm not getting ready to worship Jay-Z or anything else in this world. You have to make Allah your center. That's the advice that I would give.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
not get off, and stop looking. I think that the women um, are particularly beautiful. But the exposure of the skin and the flesh, is just, I see some things that just were like, oh my God. I'm old school and I'm like, oh my God. But then there comes my heart and says, oh, she would make a wonderful MGT because I was just like that, So I don't look at our sisters with judgment or anything like that. It's just that they are coming up against something that is so much bigger than them, that puts them where they're at. They don't know. They don't know. But the young people, this is what I'm gonna say. Oh, you know what was an event? Gosh, it made me think. And this is what young people have to do. We had in 1994 the all women's meeting in Atlanta.
Mm.
And I remember that Sister Ava, Brother Abdullah, may Allah be pleased with them both. And we had about 6 days to put that on, 6 to 7 days. And then we didn't sell any tickets. And the minister called me in the office and he told me that I think he had met a sister down there and she wanted him to speak to the women and he accepted. So he came back to me. And so I sent Sister Ava and Brother Abdullah down to Atlanta to inspire the believers, you know. But wait a minute, Josh, you clapping, but listen. Sister Ava came back and said, well, they didn't seem very much inspired. So I told that to the minister. So I'm in the office with the minister. And the minister, when he chastises you, he doesn't necessarily do a whole lot of yelling. He sits back and says, well, maybe I just got the wrong person on the post. And I'm like, oh. So packed my bags, got on that plane, and flew down to Atlanta and did not stop working.
Yeah.
And we put the sisters, so I had this strategy, and I want to tell this, and Sister Captain Naima, I don't even have to tell her this because whenever the sisters go out, they look beautiful. But we put on our most beautiful clothes, and we went to hit every mall, passed out all kind of flyers, and the brothers accompanied us, but we looked beautiful. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. And they took the flyers. It was a free event. We didn't know, we didn't have any tickets that we could gauge by, but we worked for 5 days. I think I may have gotten 5 hours worth of sleep because I did not want to hear the minister tell me that maybe I got the wrong person. That was like, oh.
Yes,
So when he came, no, so the day of the event, the place only held 6,000. No, 9,000. 12,000 women showed up. So we had to turn away 3,000. So I was in charge I'm used to your father being in charge, of everything. So this event, he wasn't even there. He might have been there, he's with the minister, but he didn't have to be in charge of the whole event. So the security, I'm at the front dealing with the security because it was so overwhelming. And then I get called to the back and the minister, Mother Tinetta's on, and the minister, this is the first time the minister has ever done this, and he wanted to go right on. And I got the biggest blessing out by the minister. I can't even watch the women's meeting, because he was just like, "Well, just this," and your mother and everybody were in the corner, and they were like, "Oh," you know. And they were like, they didn't want to get what I got. But
yes,
when you're in that kind of post, you got to take it. You take it with love. So I had Mother Janetta We had to get her down. Mother Tanetta spoke, Sister Ava. I'm not sure who else because I haven't watched the tape. I think I watched a little bit of it. I got engrams.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
he spoke and he was so happy.
Praise be to-
But I didn't even want to see him. I wanted to shrink because I didn't, oh, he had just, you just don't know. So then the following week, I saw him at a church. We were at a church and I was in the back. And when he saw me, he was like, look at he was so happy. He said, look at what we did. All praise is due to Allah. He was so happy. But I learned something about him in that when there is an event, and this is like the first time, like with Savior's Day, there's an energy that he has that he wants to get out. And you know, until that energy is out, you better get out of his way. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. But after that, um, I wanted to know. I had reached out to Sister Amina this morning, but I wanted to know if we could use one of your podcasts to do a fundraising for the number two poor at some time, because she said what we could ask the believers to do is to donate to the General Nation of Islam
Mm.
funds, but I would like to see all of us within a 15-minute span, you know, raise $20,000, 30,000 to we used to raise that kind of money back in the day like it was 20 cents,
Yeah.
because we didn't know, we did not know, we just didn't know the minister wanted 20,000. Okay, he needed 20,000 papers sold. Sister sold 20,000 papers. We didn't go out
Mm.
on the street or anything like that, but that's what we got done. The minister said, make it happen. We made it happen.
Praise be
You
to
know, that's all we knew. So that was it. I just want to share that about the women's meeting because your mother was over in the corner.
God. Praise be to Allah. Yes, man. And as a Charlene, some people showing you love, saying, wow. Ola from Corpo. I don't know where Corpo is, but Ola from Corpo sending greetings.
Hola, con cuerpo. Oh, ella es una estudiante de mi clase de español. She's one of my students in Spanish.
Okay, good.
Tiene 8 años. She's about 8 years old. Hola from Corpo. Hola, Corpo. ¿Cómo está? She's probably smiling.
Yes, when there's no chance. Okay, so listen, so people are saying peace and blessings to the host, the mods, all in the chat. Thank you very much to share, and thank you for sharing this knowledge. Thank you, Brother Jamel, Fareed, and everybody who continues to show love to our sister Charlene. Okay, the next question that we have for you is one of the pictures on your Facebook post that got a lot of likes and a lot of engagement was dealing with the Essence magazine. Could you let us know how that came about now?
So Sister Claudette Marie Muhammad, she knows everybody on the planet. So she knew at that time Susan, what was her name? Susan Taylor. She was the editor of Essence. So Miss Taylor wanted sisters to model in Essence magazine. And so Sister Claudette brought it to the minister, and he said he agreed to it. He wanted us to look a certain way. He didn't want us to wear any makeup, you know. So what you saw was, I mean, I'm sure they touched it up or whatever, but we didn't have any makeup. There was another photo they were going to use, but they chose that photo for me. But we were flown into New York. Um, there was a sister named Tina Chisholm. I'm not sure if she's active, but she had a magazine kind of similar to what Sister Audrey has. The Virtue, it was like that. It was like a Virtue magazine. And um, we were flown into New York. Mother Tanetta. I might have gone in with Sister Ava. Yeah, we were flown in two. So they went the day before us, and then myself and Sister Claudette, we were put in a hotel. We were taken to the Essence Magazine studios, and that one picture that you saw, it took 4 hours to get.
Mm.
They took I can't even imagine how many pictures they took. Um, they treated us like royalty. And the minister, when the magazine finally came out, that was in '96. The minister called me to the palace, but I couldn't go because
Mm.
I had the chicken pox.
Mm.
So I had to stay quarantined for about 14 days. And he said, when he saw me, he said, "Oh my God," he said, "your skin, you don't have a pox, you don't have any bumps." So he said, "All praises to Allah." Um, but from the last time I saw that picture, it's in the palace. When you go in the garage, there are pictures, like right when you come in. They may have been changed by now. But those pictures were hanging up there. And it was a big honor. Sister Claudette used to tell me that when Susan Taylor would see her, she would always make a beeline to her, and thank her always, because from what I understand, that magazine sold out, was one of the it was either the top seller at that time or for years.
Mm.
Um, and I don't think it's been touched since. I've had brothers. I was in a car wash one time and getting my car washed, and brother said, "Weren't you in the Essence magazine?
Mm.
You just you just don't know where it went." But it was a phenomenal experience. To be able, that the minister selected us to go. It was myself, Mother Tanetta, Sister Ava, Sister Claudette, and Sister Tina. I think, was that five? One, two, it was five of us, I think.
Mm. Mm.
But it was a really big honor, really big honor. So
Okay.
that was really nice.
Yes, ma'am. And to Charlene, people saying peace and love from DC. Brother, ma'am, Edward, thank you for always showing love. Let's make sure we all support you and all of your books on Amazon. I wanted to ask you, ma'am, about your favorite memory with Mother Tanetta Muhammad.
Hmm. I have so many. Oh God. And I really miss her. Um, Let me see. Well, I don't know if I want to say this, but I will say that Rasul, I have so many memories with when mother would come into town. We would go with Sister Shelby Muhammad, the former director of Muhammad University. You remember Sister Shelby, right?
Of course, of
And
course.
we would go, we would go to plays, different plays and things like that. Um, she always, Mother Tanetta, all of the mothers of the faithful under the administration that I had an open invitation to come and speak to the sisters. If Mother Ola wanted to come, "Oh, you hear Mother Ola? Ola, okay, come to the rostrum." Mother Tanetta, she would come to the rostrum. And all of the mothers of the faithful, Mother Evelyn, they were all, I just had this thing where I just was friends with all of them. Had my own person. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Mother Evelyn. I learned a lot from Mother Ola, who really, I need to give her a call, because she's I can't say any one of them are my favorites. They're all my favorites, but I think I talked to Mother Ola most.
Mm.
And she's such a wonderful sister. They all were, including Sister Shirley. You know, I guess just imagine this. Can you imagine coming? You've only been in the nation 7 years. I'm sure there's some of you in the nation that have only been in it for 7 years. You get a call from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he says, Sister Charlene, what is your title? And I said, assistant. I was like Sister Betsy Jean's assistant. And he said, well, you're not an assistant anymore. You are the national MGT president. And he knew that I was so young in the nation. He had to see something in my heart that I couldn't see. But he said that he would be right there with me, which he was. And then he gave me Sister Shirley. I had all the mothers of the faith. I had Mother Khadijah. They all helped me in my growth and development. I do want to give a shout out to Sister Betsy Jean Farrakhan, who I would not be nothing were not for Sister Betsy Jean. And she was one heck of a teacher. And I don't think too many people would have made it, because when you are put in those kinds, at least for me, I remember Brother Mark Diesel told me, he said, Sister Charlene, you a made man, a made woman. You know how this you a made, because you have to be made, you have to be tried, you have to be tested. Because you have to see, because she tried me. I mean, just tried me. Just I said, look, I can't take this. You got my resignation. I got to go. And she said, you're not going nowhere. You're going to die on your post.
Mm.
This Betsy Jean. So I just, okay, yes, ma'am. And then one day she came to me and she said to me, she said, I talked to my father. And she said, I told him that I gave it everything that I had. I put it all on her. And she was so humble. She just, and he said to her, that's the one. That's all she told me. But whatever she put on me, the only thing I said was, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I just worked, because it was such a lot of work. And I used to fly all over. One time we flew down into New Orleans and we flew on a prop plane with the minister, little thing bumping up and down. And the minister didn't have the security that he has now, but all of the brothers in Atlanta, and we got into Atlanta because we were flying out of Baton Rouge into Atlanta. All the brothers, seemed like every FOI on the planet was in Atlanta to greet us. And then they rode with us back to Chicago, with Mustafa, Brother Mustafa as well. But my life has been just, when I'm talking to you, very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. I just want to say. So, any more questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Cualquier pregunta?
Dos questionanos. I don't know. But yes, two more. Just two more. Yes, ma'am. People saying, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Daniel E. He remembers his mother had the issue of the Essence magazine with you on it. When the Nation of Islam have a lot of those who inspire the new believers to carry on. Walaikum salam, Stamia. Thank you for always showing love. And people are just bearing witness from all around the world. Our last two questions are, ma'am, what type of music do you enjoy listening to?
Me gusta el mambo de Cuba. Okay. Tengo familia en Cuba y me gusta, tengo familia, el cantante famoso de Cuba.
Okay, okay.
¿Me entiendes? And I like mambo, I like salsa.
Okay.
I like merengue. I like jazz. I like house music.
Okay.
That's what I like. All right. You'll see me bopping up and down. Now, I'll tell you a story about the minister. We were at the farm, and the minister always asks me, he has this DJ that always plays Celia Cruz. Now, Celia Cruz is like Aretha Franklin in the Latino world.
Okay.
So we're at the farm, and this particular time, he had invited a lot of the young people. I mean, just a lot of the young. And I like to dance, so I'm out there dancing, and I'm just dancing. And there was a little young sister. I don't know where she is now, but her name was Tanetta, and she was dancing with me and some of the young people. And then the salsa comes on. So when salsa comes on, I just lose my mind. So, so I'm like, I'm dancing.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
eyes are closed. And then I look up. Who's dancing with me? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan dancing salsa right with all of us and the young people. And that what he wanted to show us is that it's okay to have fun. It's okay to dance. It's just you do it in a proper way. You're not gonna be doing no, what do you call the stuff that I see? Twerking? No, we're not doing that. No, no, we're not doing that. If I see any sister doing some twerking, then we gonna have a conversation, and it's not gonna be nice. All right. But even if I do see you, I'm gonna talk to you with love, but that's
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can dance, we just not gonna be dancing like that. But it was such a refreshing thing to see him dance salsa, and he was out there with us. So I just wanted to share that.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. We love hearing stories that make our guests more personable to us. To show that's why we ask what type of music you enjoy listening to, but also the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan showing his human side. That's always a good thing.
Do you all
Uh,
know? Hold on, espérate. Do you all know Tito Puente and Celia Cruz? They opened up for the minister
mm,
70,000 at Black Family Day. He told me that because we were dancing salsa on the boat with the president of Ghana and his wife. And I was
mm,
telling the minister about it. And he said, "Oh, he said, daughter, did you know that?" And you all don't know, a lot of you all don't know this in that don't speak Spanish. But he said, "Did you know that Tito Puente and Celia Cruz opened up for me at Black Family Day?" I said, "What?" I almost fell out of my chair. Really? Because it was they opened that's a big deal for Latinos, for Spanish speaking people.
mm.
So, they're all out of New York, they all know each other, so well they all knew each other, I think. That's Tito Puente and Celia Cruz are dead, but I just wanted to share that, that they opened up for him. 70,000 people
Mm.
at Randall's Island.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful history. And people are bearing witness and showing you love. Okay, last question we have for you, ma'am. Inshallah. When the next time I'm in Chicago or you are in Atlanta, may we get a part 3 interview in person so we can sit next to each other and have it, just another conversation for the rest of the questions in person. Because I want to just tell everybody who's watching when I talked to Mimi and Naima today, my sisters, about going to your office when you were the National MGT captain. And my mother, Sister Sharif Muhammad, always say, Joshua, stop asking her to play on her computer. And you would say, no, let him play the game. And I'll be trying to play this game on your computer. You got to try to trap the rat. And just you were just being so kind to myself and my siblings and all of the Junior FOY and Junior MGT. We loved seeing you at the mosque. We love seeing you now, though we're an adult. But as when you're a child, you remember people who are kind to you and kind to your family. So we love you, ma'am, and just wanted to appreciate you and thank you. And inshallah, when
Tell
I'm in
tell
person.
Rashad, tell Rashad that I sent the greetings, and I'm not going to tell you on live screen what he said to me when he was 3 years old, that your mother just wanted to whoop his butt. But tell him that
Yes,
that
ma'am. We'll be sure to do
I
so.
sent the greetings.
We'll be sure to do so.
All right. But thank you so much, very much, for having me on the show. I really, really enjoyed it. You're family for me, so I don't know who a brother Joshua is. I just know Josh, So
Yes, ma'am.
that's all I know. So thank you very much. I hope that they got something from it. And if they did get something from it, I'm gonna post something on my page. And if you did get something, tell me what you liked, and what you enjoyed, okay? And when you're in Chicago, yeah, whenever. If I'm in Atlanta, yeah, we could do it long, whenever, of course. For
Maybe we go
supuesto.
by. Okay.
All right.
Beautiful. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off of the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, Mel.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
And wait, and last thing, Charlene, how do we say assalamu alaikum or peace in Spanish?
Que la paz esté contigo. Que
Okay.
la paz, que la paz. You can say que la paz
Okay,
esté
La
contigo.
Paz,
Que la paz esté contigo.
este,
Or sea
sea,
contigo.
contigo.
So you can say either one. Que la paz esté contigo, or que la paz is peace. Que
Peace.
la
La Paz,
paz sea
sea.
contigo. Either one is fine.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everything she just said to you all. All right. Thank you all very much.